What is up, citizens? First off, I owe you all a massive apology. I know I have been completely MIA for the last month or so. I got hit with a horrible real-life sickness and was totally knocked out in bed. You know, life happens and sometimes you just have to log off and recover, but I am finally back, feeling way better, and honestly, we picked the absolute best time to come back. If you thought the road to 4.0 was a wild ride, you better buckle up right now, because Cloud Imperium Games just dropped a roadmap update for Alpha 4.7 that is legitimately going to rewrite how we play this game. I'm talking about the first actual playable iteration of crafting, an entirely new inventory system to replace the clunky mess we've been dealing with, a brand new industrial ship that just hit the live servers, and a massive dynamic lore event that actually has us fighting a biological space fungus. Yes, you heard me right, a space fungus. Today we are doing a massive, super casual chat covering absolutely everything that happened in the Star Citizen universe over the past week while I was recovering. We've got tech talks with Benoit Beauséjour, new faction gear for the Nyx system, the Daymar Rally wrap-up, so much more. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's talk about why your stash of broken multi-tools and junk armor is about to become your most valuable asset. Let's kick things off with the absolute biggest bombshell from the February 25th roadmap roundup. Alpha 4.7 is officially bringing us crafting tier 0. Now let's be real for a second. I know we've been hearing the word crafting thrown around in this community for literally years. I was reading the Star Citizen subreddit earlier today, and one guy literally quoted Dune saying, "Hype is the mind killer. I must not hype." And honestly, I feel that deeply. We all have that I'll believe it when I see it mentality. But guys, it's actually in the Avocado Tech preview right now. This isn't just a basic menu where you click a button to make medpens. This is a full-blown economic reset. Here is exactly how it works based on the current preview builds. Every single player is getting access to a physicalized crafting fabricator. Imagine this. You have to literally bring this massive, heavy machine up from your freight elevator and place it into your personal home hangar. From there, you interface with the terminal to access blueprints. CIG drops something like 180 different blueprints into the game right out of the gate. These are actual recipes for weapons, armor, backpacks, and ship components, but here is the kicker, and this is why I am so incredibly hyped. This system finally introduces material quality. For the longest time, mining was basically just a spreadsheet simulator, right? You mine Quantanium, you refine it, you sell it for UEC, and you buy ships. That was the whole loop. But with 4.7, the raw materials you mine, or the scrap you salvage, will have distinct measurable quality ratings. If you take the time to find high-tier premium deposits out in the black and feed them into your fabricator, you will literally craft weapons and armor that have mathematically better stats than the standard garbage you buy at a regular kiosk in Lorville. It completely changes the meta. You can mix and match different quality materials to hit the volume requirements of a blueprint, but the final stats of your gear depend entirely on the quality of what you put into it, and it gets even better. They are adding a full disassembly system. Every single piece of junk you find, that damaged helmet on a dead pirate, that empty magazine on the floor of a bunker, can be broken down into proprietary crafting resources. I am telling you right now, stop selling your junk loot. Hoard it. Fill your local storage, because come March, that scrap is pure gold. Of course, to handle all these hundreds of new materials, CIG is finally giving us the Inventory Rework. The old 3.15 UI is getting absolutely gutted, and thank God for that. In 4.7, we are getting proximity looting, an actual stack all button, and a significantly cleaner, faster visual experience. Managing your stash shouldn't feel like a second job, and it looks like the devs finally agree with us on this one. This is going to remove so much friction from the everyday gameplay loop, but what good is crafting all this top tier gear if you don't have anywhere to use it? Alpha 4.7 is continuing the massive push into the Nyx system. We are getting the Rock Cracker sandbox activities. Nyx is a dangerous, unclaimed frontier territory bordering Vandul space, and the roadmap just confirmed we are getting specific outfit variants for the Claw Salamanders. They are a notorious gang operating out in Nyx, and they're getting custom light armor, capes, and faction masks. You're going to want to hunt these guys down and loot them, trust me. In fact, the Claw Salamanders are a huge part of a new dynamic event that is currently being tested in the 4.6 PTU patches called Clearing the Air. Get this. The residents of Levski are dying from something called the People's Ailment, or the Molina Mold. It's a fungal infection caused by cheap, faulty air filters made by a company called Jason Inc. The UEE and Cure Life step in to make treatments, and players are getting hired as independent contractors to haul biological samples and medical supplies to Levski. But the Claw Salamanders and the Moraine gang are literally ambushing the medical convoys to hijack the cargo and ransom the sick residents. It's an awesome, chaotic mix of hauling, courier work, escorting, dogfighting, and resource gathering all tied into one massive, server-wide lore event. It feels incredibly organic, and if you help out enough with the event, you actually get rewarded with a brand new set of medical light armor called Chiron. Speaking of resource gathering and making money, let's pivot to the brand new ship that just dropped into the live servers this past week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Argo Moth has arrived. If you felt like the Drake Vulture was just a little too small for you, but the Aegis Reclaimer was an absolute nightmare to try and fly solo, the Moth is your new best friend. This chunky industrial beauty holds 224 SCU of cargo. It's definitely designed as a multi-crew ship, featuring 3 manned salvage turrets to strip hulls, but the pilot actually gets to control these massive physical salvage arms on the front. It comes stock with cinch and abrade scraper modules, but you can swap them for trawlers if you want. Structurally, it is capable of dismantling ships up to the size of a 600I or AMISC Starfarer, but here is why the Moth is such a big deal right now. When it structurally salvages a ship, when it literally munches it up, it doesn't just make your standard RMC. It produces a brand new commodity called construction material pieces. And guess what those pieces are going to be used for? You guessed it, the new 4.7 crafting fabricators. The Moth is literally the backbone of the upcoming manufacturing economy. Plus, CIG just dropped a bunch of new industrial missions to give you salvage guys more variety out in the black. Now, none of this, the complex crafting, the massive salvage ships, the dynamic events, none of it works without the servers actually holding together. Last week, Star Citizen's CTO Benoit Beauséjour sat down with Jared for a massive 2-hour tech talk, and for once, the technical news is actually incredible. Benoit confirmed that the static server meshing we got last year was a massive success. They were seeing servers handle up to 400 players in a single area without melting, which directly resulted in way better FPS for all of us. But now, they are moving heavily into testing dynamic server meshing. Dynamic meshing means the game can automatically spin up a brand new server node on the fly if an area gets too crowded, and then gracefully spin it down when everyone leaves, all without crashing the game. Benoit admitted it's still buggy. In one internal test, the system accidentally asked for 200 servers at once, which is honestly hilarious to picture, but they are making huge strides. He also confirmed they've fixed 51 of the 73 major bugs plaguing the freight elevators. We absolutely need those elevators working perfectly to move our new crafting tables around, so that is a massive relief. We also saw some great AI fixes in the January monthly report. NPCs are no longer getting stuck cowering, they will actually use burst fire correctly now, and the giant Velekar creatures in Nyx can no longer hear you through solid underground walls, thank God. Look, I know there is still a lot of skepticism out there. I read the Reddit threads just like you guys do. People are tired of waiting for the 1.0 release. People are sweating over Squadron 42, and there is definitely worry about how slow features like base building are coming along. But looking at the 4.7 roadmap, seeing crafting tier 0 actually physicalized in the Evocati builds, and seeing the servers handle 400 players, It genuinely feels like the foundation is finally solidifying, but I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited to start hoarding high quality ore for crafting, or are you just looking forward to flying the moth and munching on some Rex in Nyx? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this casual catch up, hit that like button, subscribe for more Star Citizen news, and as always, I will see you all in the verse.